group. I tell you what, when I came out of the truck, I could hear the noise all the way from outside. It's like, wow, what an energetic group this is. But this is actually my first opportunity, really, for all the years I've been here, to actually speak before a Rotary. I've spoken before a lot of other groups, organizations, and so forth. But thanks for the invite, Michelle. Let me first, at least, let me introduce myself. I see a lot of familiar faces out here that I've known for years. Some of you I don't. But my name is Robbie Seal. I'm actually a sergeant with the Front Row Police Department. I'm actually retired. And I retired back in 2013. I have 32 years total underneath my belt, the last 5 as the part-time CRO. And I always make a joke with the CRO. It actually stands for Community Resource Officer with the Police Department. But I can never get that right. And I was thinking when I was brought on board by then, former Chief Shiflett, Norman Shiflett, back in 2015, I was calling myself the Community Relations Officer. And I couldn't really get that right. And so, you know, I need to get a sentence association, you know, so I can remember the CRO. Actually, I thought it was a CPO at first. So I said, I'm a crappy police officer. There we go. So I kept it in check. But the CRO, Community Resource Officer, was implemented again by former Chief Norman Shiflett back in 2015. I was actually retired working part-time for the town's Planning and Zoning Department as their Deputy Zoning Director. And Chief Shiflett had actually called me and wanted to know if I may be interested in applying for this position. The position was really created as and a lot of police departments were going this route with the, I guess the climate, if you will, in past years between law enforcement and their communities. A lot of negativity, especially with minorities and other groups. So police departments across the nation were implementing community resource officers to really create an individual associated with the police department that can partner with the community, act per se as a liaison with the community to build those partnerships. So thus, the town of Front Royal Police Department implemented a CRO, brought me on board. Again, I've been doing it for 5 years, and it's been a tremendous learning experience. I've always been sort of the public relations type of guy in all the years I've done police work. But I really learned so much more of what it takes to be that liaison and building partnerships with the community. And I sort of took it a step further because a lot of police officers don't know exactly what exists in their communities as far as organizations and what they do. They've heard of them, but they don't necessarily know what they do. So I sort of took it a step further and said, hey, if I'm going to be a liaison within the community as a representative of the police department, I want to get involved. And so I did get involved. Became a member, obviously, of the Warren Coalition here in Front Royal, as well as attending a lot of groups, church groups and so forth, that have the passion and the vision to better their communities. So people out there that know the police department has this liaison, I'm constantly getting invites to speak, to be involved in their groups, and it's really enabled me to take what I've learned from these groups back to the police department and let our fellow police officers know that also. So that's pretty much who I am and what I do for the police department. And of course our chief, Kel McGillis, who's joined us past 2 years now in the police department, has the same vision as I do and what it takes to make our community better and be associated and have the police department associated with our community to do that. So we have a lot of vision, a lot of passion, and I'll speak about the passion of Salt Triad and why that's such a passion for me in that group. But yeah, the police department is actually very involved, and even more so looking involved. I see a lot of people out here, and I got to say this because one of my tasks as CRO is I coordinate our VIPS program. Anybody know what VIPS stands for? Volunteers in Police Service. And this program with the police department was established many years ago. Janice Hart, how many of you know Janice? Oh yeah. I should see every hand go up on that one. But when Janice was with us, she was very instrumental with our VIPS program. And I mean, she took it up to here. I don't think I'll ever get it up to where she had it. But we're trying to really revamp our VIPS program, and so we're looking for volunteers. And volunteers really are those people that want to help the police department pretty much do things that police officers would be doing, but sort of take them off the streets to do their normal jobs. We've had our volunteers in the past do clerical work, help us with events, parades, and so forth out there. So we're actually looking to really get that program going again. And I say that because I have applications for anybody that would love to be a volunteer with the police department. SALT Triad. I throw that out there. Michelle just said it briefly and introduced me. Anybody know what our SALT Triad chapter? And I saw it as a program in this community. Anybody heard of it? Nobody. One person. Michelle, I expected at least one hand, because she actually sits on the council. SALT Triad, actually SALT is the acronym for Seniors and Law Enforcement Together. Notice I said seniors. And the basis for that is, and SALT/Triad. Triad, actually, this program was implemented, in fact, the Virginia Attorney General's office was probably one of the first states that actually brought this program in-house into government. And it was pretty much established, I think, I'm pretty sure in 1995 when Virginia Attorney General's office implemented this program. And the basis for this program was to have the means to task communities out there in the Commonwealth to establish chapters, and the chapters involved law enforcement personnel as well as members of the community who have the passion to make our seniors' lives or their quality of lives better. And the means for doing that is to educate them, provide them the resources that can enhance their knowledge and make them more aware of the fact that they are the largest group in society that is being taken advantage of. Scams, telemarketing, what have you. Each month, I go to the Warren County Senior Center and I instruct. I talk to seniors about anything that's going on with their lives. Safety aspects, if it's hot, how to keep from getting heat stroke. Scams, of course. But I make that visit every month. And it's so important that they see law enforcement interested in their lives. And I see that every month. And the sad part about the good and the bad part, or the sad part I should say, is no matter how many times I visit our seniors at the senior center, I'll always have, and I instructed on scams, I will always have one come up to me afterwards and tell me they've become a victim. And it's every month. And it does not matter how many times I speak about it. That's why the recidivism is so important. At least even though it's sad it's one, I'm glad it's only one. Right. Because it could be a lot more if we weren't there teaching it. So SALT Triad, and this is actually a program of the Warren County Sheriff's Office that was established years ago. Larry Funk, how many knows? Retired, long-time Warren County Deputy, Larry Funk. Larry Funk actually was instrumental with the Sheriff's Department in coordinating the program, the chapter, if you will, and recruiting members of the community to partake in the council. Right now we have, I think, 16 or 17 that are on the council, and we meet every month to talk about things that we're looking to do for our seniors. We have a big senior, what we call our annual Senior Expo coming up. And this is actually September 25th. This is a big event that we've had annually for, I think, the past 7 years. It's actually going to be at the Moose Lodge this year. It's a great event and it lasts from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we provide lunch for our seniors, free of charge. We recruit exhibitors, vendors, and speakers to be there on the hour 15, 20-minute intervals to speak to our seniors on topics that concern their lives. Anything from scams again, to advanced directive, DNR issues, Medicaid, Medicare, all these things that involve their lives that we can bring to them, provide the people that are knowledgeable within those agencies, professions, if you will, to come and speak to our seniors and educate them, provide them the resources to keep them knowledgeable, and of course keep them from being victims of crime. So that's what SALT Triad's about. I always find it surprising, as long as the program's been here in Front Royal, that nobody's really heard about it. And thus the basis for me to come out and speak to groups like this, to make you aware of it and spread the word that we do have, that Front Royal, Warren County does have this program to benefit our seniors, and that we need all the support we can get from our community. The chapter, the SALT Triad chapter, a lot of our funding that we get for the means to provide for our seniors comes from the community through fundraising efforts. Case in point, well, of course, the senior triad I just mentioned, but we just had a AARP senior safe driving class, and this was just last weekend. And I was actually invited, excuse me, 2 years ago, as just a police officer to speak at one of these classes. Mike Waters, he's an educator here in Front Royal. He actually puts on this class every so often in Tri-County, the Tri-County areas. I think he has 1 or 2 classes. Well, he was asked 2 years ago, called the police department, asked if an officer could do an instruction on current traffic law. So I said, well, sure, I'd be happy to. And of course, when I did that, we sort of partnered and say, hey, Mike, I tell you what, I think we can have a good thing going here. I'm a member of the Warren County Front Royal SALT Triad. I said, it'd be nice if we can partner up and have this class, once, twice a year. And he said, that'd be a good idea. Of course, ARP actually provides the instructor, Mike Waters, to do this class, and there's a fee involved. And I'm using this as a case in point in how we look to the community for support. And for members, for seniors that want to take this class, and the benefit of this class obviously is to bring them up to par on the traffic law, as well as safe driving practice, but it's also a means for them to get a discount on the auto insurance if they want it. But of course it costs. And for members it's $15, for non-members it's $20. But it didn't cost them a dime this time. We had 16 people signed up for it. Was the most people in a class that Mike Waters had taught. But myself, went out, did the fundraising efforts to be able to secure a sponsor, which didn't cost a dime for our seniors to attend. So that's kind of the example, if you will, of what we're trying to do for our seniors. But SALT Triad does exist. It is a viable program. I consider myself a junior senior. That's why I have a passion. I'm going to be pushing 60 before too long. But I do have a passion for more so at my age now, and because of the fact of what I've been doing in my career in helping our seniors sustain a better quality of life for what, how they're taken advantage of. But I just wanted to put that out to you and make you aware there is that program, and that if we call on you for support, I hope you help us out. And just thank you everybody here for allowing me the opportunity to present myself and the SALT Triad program. All right.